Mary Gearan reporting there. Australia has signed a deal with Iran to share intelligence on Australians fighting with Islamic State in Iraq. The Foreign Minister Julie Bishop has just been in Tehran and she says Australia began exploring the idea late last year. It's a significant stepping up of Australia's relationship with Iran. Colin Rubenstein is from the Australia, Israel and Jewish Affairs Council and he joins me now from Melbourne. Colin Rubenstein, welcome. Are you comfortable with this arrangement struck up with Iran?
Look, I think it's quite problematic. One can well understand the Australian government wanting to do everything possible to enhance the mission of our soldiers in Iraq, in their training and support role, and to protect them. But frankly, the overall strategy of effectively collaborating with Iranian proxies, that is, the leading sort of state sponsor of Shiite terrorism in the world, to fight, admittedly, the barbaric Sunni Islamist extremism of Daesh, is nonetheless quite problematic. For a start, it's going to be a concern for the Sunnis in Iraq that the Iranian-sponsored Shiite militias are going to further persecute them. And, of course, there's already evidence of considerable atrocities there. So it's a very complicated situation. And, indeed, the idea of broader intelligence sharing with Iran, I think, would be a surprise to our Western allied colleagues with whom we share intelligence in the five-power agreement.
Yeah.
So I can understand the motivation, but I think there are a lot of serious pitfalls along the way here for us to consider.
But can't this be mutually beneficial in terms of tracking down Australians who've gone there to join these barbaric murderers?
No, unquestionably we need more information on why in the first place Australians are radicalised and go there, what they're doing there, and also, of course, the dangers they represent when they come back. But I think we have to understand that Iran is still a completely unreformed, highly aggressive regime, which makes all of its neighbours, the Arab Sunni world in particular, as well as obviously Israel, very apprehensive about their expansionism and their aggression in the broader region. Whether it be in Syria or Lebanon, clearly in Iraq, and now obviously in backing the Houthis in Yemen. So they're a major concern. And similarly, they're really a major sponsor of fanatical anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, the Foreign Minister's host, the Foreign Minister of Iran, said Israel had to be annihilated, and there's no backing down on their determination to wipe Israel from the map. They're sponsoring another Holocaust denial cartoon.
We do hear that rhetoric often. But Julie Bishop has come out of this visit there saying, I think there's genuine regret the relationship with the United States has deteriorated to the extent that it has. Do you think that the Iranian leadership can be believed when they intimate things like that to foreign leaders?
Well, there's no doubt amongst the public that there's regret, and there's no doubt amongst the leadership that the sanctions have really bitten very hard. And what they want is an alleviation of the sanctions. But is there any sign of moderation and pragmatism amongst the Iranian leadership when they're sprouting blood libel myths in their media?
Well, there is when there's real progress on this nuclear deal. That would seem to indicate there is.
Well, if there is real progress, we don't have a deal right now, and of course we have, as Julie Bishop has stated, repeatedly, there is no agreement whatsoever on a very comprehensive inspection regime anywhere, anytime. The military sites are out, so far as the Iranians are concerned.
But there's no
agreement on sanctions.
She's also saying she's very confident that a deal is within reach, and that Israel should be satisfied.
Well, I think it's probably misplaced confidence at this stage. There's no doubt President Obama and Secretary of State Kerry desperately want a deal. But we still have to resolve these key outstanding issues about the sanctions. The Iranians want them lifted immediately, all of them, whereas the prior American position was they'd be gradually lifted according to compliance with the terms of the deal. And I don't think Israel is satisfied. Israel is very dissatisfied with the terms of this deal, as is most of the Arab Sunni world. Ask the Saudis or the Gulf states or the Egyptians. So I think she understands there's a long way to go. Maybe her intention is trying to bridge the gap. Okay. I hope that she raised these issues with the Iranians, you know, but let's see.
Okay, unfortunately, we've got to leave it there. Colin Rubenstein, thanks very much for talking to us this morning. The opposition leader, Bill Shorten, has just started a media conference. Let's go to